Okay. So thanks for everyone to join for our today's Smart City Talk. I'm Wei Xu. I'm the manager for Scalable Computational Intelligence Group at TAC. This talk is a part of the UT School System project. So we want to use this as opportunities for UT researchers and all the researchers interested into the smart city to getting to know each other and getting to know each other, what each other doing. So hopefully you will find this one is interesting. So we are happy to have Dr. Fang Zhao to join us today, and her talk today is called "The Rise and the Fall of Smart Cities." I hope it's not fall. The smart city hasn't fall yet.
So that's the reason I use a question mark. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Zhao is a business strategist and advisor mainly in the area of digital transformation and digital disruption and environmental sustainability, and she has provided consultancy and advisory services to government, industry, and business, and she has led and undertaken a number of research and industry projects funded by governments, industry, and universities, including the Australian Research Council's Australian Federal Government's grant and the British Academy grant. So we are very fortunate to have Dr. Zhao here today. I will turn the floor to Dr. Zhao for her presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wei Xu. And also I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Fang Zhao for inviting me to join this brilliant, very passionate Smart City Consortium group. I really appreciate this opportunity to share my research, my view about the development, the involvement of smart cities. So my name is Fang Zhao. I just finished my appointment, that is work with Staffordshire University as Associate Dean, Research and Enterprise and Professor of Innovation and Strategy. I'm now a visiting professor there too. But I'm now located in Melbourne, Australia. So we just talked to the Wei Jia. This is 5 o'clock in the early morning, 17 hours ahead of US Central Time. So I'm very pleased to say good afternoon to you and good morning to me. I'm excited to have start my day in an exciting, group. Thank you. My research is more about, smart city from the perspective of strategy and innovation management, particularly digital disruption. From that point of view, I hope that I could bring in some business strategy and management perspective to the group regarding discussion of smart cities. So today I put in a title as The Rise and Fall of Smart Cities, but I use the question mark because the current debate, or in the past, the debate around smart cities are a bit of controversial. The rise of the smart cities have been exciting a lot of people, but at the same time, a lot of questions have been raised, particularly not just after the COVID-19, pre-COVID-19, we heard a lot about, the more of, smart city is about big companies selling technology to local governments, and a lot of neoliberalism that have been challenged about the concept. Of course, after COVID-19, I will talk about a lot of projects of smart city have been halted and also canceled. But at the same time, we also say some new emerging smart city projects. I will discuss in my talk about these new project and also the new direction, the new concept of smart cities. So anyway, I'll keep my talk short and leave enough time for audience to ask the question. And anyway, this is more of a discussion, more of a question time rather than, you know, the me talk. Okay, thank you. So first I would look at the trends of 20 years research about, you know, smart cities. This is based upon our research, my team's research back in Staffordshire University in the UK. I look at the literature of past 20 years. We'll talk about this, capturing the major trends in this dominated literature about smart cities. And then more important, what changed in the wake of COVID-19. So what's the view? You know, I'm trying to generate some debate, hopefully that a robust debate about the future of smart cities. So that is the main agenda of my talk. Please feel free to ask the question or write it down your question, and then I will try to discuss it after my short presentation. So literary review, as I said, is a group of my colleagues very passionate about this area. We conducted a systematic, comprehensive literary review. Why that is systematic? We use a systematic way, you know, in terms of database. We developed our own database based upon the Scooper's. We all know Scooper is the largest database, you know, in terms of peer-reviewed literature. And we selected, put in the keywords, smart cities, you know, whatever people call smart city is, green city, intelligent city, knowledge city, creative city, you know, eco city, a lot of, you know, jargons terminology. So we use that as a keywords, and we found thousands of articles talking about this. But when you come to the second layer of selection, relevance, the quality of the journals, we decided to target only the high quality, high impact journals, the impact related to the ABS, you know, UK journal ranking. So we only select those journals rank as a 2 and above. And the years we decided to look at the 1990s up to the January 2020, we found that is, you know, most of the article started to picking up from 2000. But you can see a clear trend. The trend is literature, actually a serious article, high quality article that published mostly, that is 2010 or 2011, and started to pick up. The peak is starting from 2016 up to the 2020. So in terms of relevance and, you know, we, the quality, everything that is, we set some criteria. We choose, finally, our data set covers 191 articles. So based upon, and I'll also use the coding system that is followed by, you know, our team, and we identified those are the actually 6 key trends. But here, because of time and because of the importance of those trends, I just present 4 very shortly. So you can say that the article, I will provide the reference of the article published in Cities. So it shows a clear trend that research, you know, shifted from tackle economic driven, they call it, you know, smart city generation 1, to more open, collaborative, customer-centered, people-centered smart city research. So whatever term you would like to use, generation 2 or 3. And we found the majority of the article that is we selected concentrate on smart city planning and governance. That is not the case if you look at anything that is before 2000, from 2000 to 2011. And also we notice the noticeable trend that is about entrepreneurship and innovation, about the innovation system that have been shifted to a central stage, more about entrepreneurship, more about the importance of innovation. So small business people started to look at their trends, their development, their value, their role in the smart city landscape. And also we noticed the supply chains and logistics, how to use digital technology, smart technology to transform supply chains and logistics. This is particularly relevant to the global disruption of supply chain caused by COVID-19. So look at what happened today, and particularly over the past, nearly 2 years, they certainly become more important than ever. So we also identified, our research have 3, objectives. The first one is obvious, try to get a comprehensive picture of what happened, okay, what going on in the research. The second one is try to identify the main trends. And the third one is identify the gaps. So those are the gaps, a limitation we found by reviewing very closely, studying very closely those nearly 200 articles. So the first one we found is smart city research is very fragmented and technology driven, a lot of research. The second largest theme of our finding is about talking about technology. It doesn't mean technology is important. It's very, very important, critical. Otherwise, we don't have smart city. It's more about, how to address the issues. Technology alone cannot solve the problem. So that is a limitation. The second one is about a lot of bragging, a lot of talking about the successful smart city case studies. We found case studies dominate the smart city research rather than quantitative, rather than that is with tested, a large-scale research. So is and also very few talk about the downsides of technology and the field projects. There is a third limitation is more about the theories that is smart city research have been used is, use existing theory, quite, a lot of technology, diffusion theories have been used and instrumental instrument theories, so that is another institutional theory. We call for, I think there are new theoretical framework need to be looked at in order to study comprehensively in an integrated way of this new, relatively emerging new concept. Of course, later on, we'll talk about smart city theory later. And also empirical testing, I already covered that, a lot of framework, but that is the prescriptive, successful framework for smart city diffusion, but a lack of empirical testing. So that is the limitation of smart city research we found. Of course, you can certainly argue about that. So let's spend some time about talking about changes. the changes, I think given the time, I would be very brave. We talk about smart city, the cities. So it used to be the hub, the driver of the economy. That is changing. To be honest, look at the big project in the past in the UK, high-speed train to London. For example, billions of pounds have been invested. People now challenge the concept of city as a hub, as one big city as a hub of the whole, most part of the region. So that has been changed because we don't need a high-speed train directly to one big mega city anymore. So that is a trend in remote working that changed a lot of concepts, about working. Now, for example, in Australia, the city government tried desperately to woo the city workers back to the town and still have this mindset, everything will be okay and you're going back to the parks. But people have changed, their working style have changed. Blended working will become the new normal. So later on, all those concepts have changed. And also, as I said, new project started, but in a new direction. And much more important, I noticed the previous speaker, you have a couple of weeks ago talking about the health, environment, the safety become more important. That's absolutely true. Research already demonstrates that. And opportunities and challenges, and could say that is more about small scale projects, and they started to become the key players, after COVID-19. If I have time later on, we'll talk about my projects. That is the project I involved in the UK about intelligent mobility project. That's all about more about small business, quick delivery result, outcome, project related to smart cities. And business, becomes so important. Strategy becomes so important now. And social entrepreneurship, because we talk about sustainable, inclusive city, these concepts all come up. And also, of course, data analytics, cybersecurity, all those things become dominant now. So the future of smart city post-COVID, have to say, in my view, that we're here to stay, but as all the new concept is evolving, is maturing, and will challenge now. Already a lot of people challenge, what do you mean by smart? Although a lot of research from our perspective, you can say that is quite complete in different dimensions. Smart city refers to 6 dimensions at least. That is, but after the COVID-19, or that people changed, think about more social, equitable, inclusive cities, and safety becomes so important. If I have time, we'll talk about my involvement in the in the economics intelligence unit project that is published a few months ago, called Safety City Index. That one, talk about more about the safety, health, digital, physical, infrastructure, and environment. Those areas that become you have to address them, in a holistic way. That become more important in the concept of smart cities. So a word changed. The digital diffusion, we all, according to McKinsey's research, that at least accelerated for 5 years globally. So, smart city, of course, will develop more high technology, use this, the changing, the acceleration of digital diffusion. There will be a bright future, but the concept have to be evolving. And COP conference, this COP, net zero, become political agenda, and also the desire, the growing desire of people's power about achieving this net zero emissions. So all of this become so important for the future. Those are the two references I would like to share. If you are interested, please have a look of this. Okay, I think I better leave to the floor to ask the questions. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. I can post those links with the talk description later on. And now,
thank you. Yeah.
I do interest to see if there's any question from the audience.
Yeah, thank you.
So one question I have is, I think your expertise may be in the right to answer that is, my background is in the computer science side, but I do find the smart city is truly interdisciplinary, and there's many issues more than just technically what should be done and what can be done. So I do see some actual challenge in terms of the smart city, like the government's actually adopting the smart city strategies. In one is because like it's harder to measure the impact and the effectiveness of the smart city technology. And sometimes you have this one, then it also has concerns. So do you have such a challenge and issue, and how you addressing or approaching those?
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'll just talk a little very briefly about the smart city concept. So my experience, I don't want to name anything, is about, how do you achieve your smart city vision in not just 5 years. The city plan have to address it maybe 30 years or 50 years in order to get, your vision realized. So short term doesn't work, and also have to, in a, as you emphasize, integrated way. So the project that is involved involving quite a few departments from a university, for example, involving business school, involving environmental, water quality, involving intelligence, computer science, involving government agencies, government department, and all city councilors, particularly involve local communities. So we get all those people, every party together in the design of this project, and also have the opportunity to get across our message loud and clear. This is a project is just not for the government or for technology partners or for some local small business. It's for everybody. And the benefit that is a feedback to us is for the university to use the data that is, for example, we use a drone technology to monitor a wetland health of this the dominant landscape of a regional area in WA, for example. So we use that as a real-time education material that is generated from the drone system, from Internet of Things. And then the City Council use this as, we call it 3D design. I use this as a good opportunity to talk to the local business who are heavily influenced by the environmental of this, the well-being of this lake, the wetlands. And also local community, they have a more education schools, and also the park users to be able to use this park, these surrounding wetland in a more sustainable way. So this is just an example of how we should integrate and should consider at a multiple level the integration of smart city implementation or diffusion. Yes, thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Any question? Yeah.
Yes. I think I'm more interested to say like because it's a long-term commitment, especially like how you can really convincing the government or to buy in or to do that long-term commitment. I think that's could be a very challenging bit because it's like how you prove this thing will make a difference in say 50 years.
Yeah, so I think at the very start, you go to approach proactively the local councillors, particularly the key people, and let them know the direct benefits of this project to them and help them to get government funding. Okay, everybody would like to be funded by the government, but you got to have the environmental, how do you say, ecosystem of smart cities. You know, you identify very clearly that is benefits you know, for the whole city. I know politicians, or not all, a lot of them care more about the most immediate issue. For example, now in our Melbourne, you know, the councillor care more about bringing people in and to revive the local, the CBD, the city business. So that is a more emergent issue. If we, you know, demonstrate that if you don't change the environment, for example, the safety measures, and also you don't provide a nice green environment, and people won't come back. And you don't change the transportation system, make it easier for people to come into the city, people won't come. So those are all the comprehensive issues. And if you don't care about the mental well-being, for example, of city workers, people won't come. So if you demonstrate all those aspects, and they will say, okay, you're right, and we're happy to fund you to look at those issues, find the solutions. So those are the, you know, the way to help local governments. Yeah,
I think it's quite challenging for regular faculty to do.
Yeah, so that's the reason we get the support from the top, from the university, you know, and also from the other schools, other area. You know,
that's my feeling. It's more likely to be implemented if you do top-down approach rather than trying to do individual projects, right?
Individual experts, individual, you know, scientists, and won't get things moving. But if you get the skill, you get, you know, a team that will get things done very easily. Not very easily, but you will get it.
There's a good question from the chat. It's are smart cities typically created for the advancement of the cities that already exist or built for start from scratch?
Thank you very much. I really like this question because I haven't got the time. So I don't think smart city now, particularly after COVID-19, is more about hubs, you know, township, regions rather than the cities. And also there are some utopia, a good example of smart cities that is we call it greenfield project. For example, my master, I think in the United Arab Arabic, you know, that is Abu Dhabi. I visited there. I have to say, the government heavily funded, big corporation funded project won't be sustainable because it is isolated, and I don't think that is address the majority business needs. So it's hard to maintain. That's why Master City in the UAE now shifted and also repositioned itself, you know, try to make it sustainable, try to attract a business to come in and globally, not just UAE. So I think, you know, the new utopia city, the new city from the scratch have to be revisited. I don't think it will, my view, that have to be, you know, not already the trend is reposition, you know, rethink, and what is the future of those new smart cities. Yes, hopefully I could answer your question.
So I think that's a great talk, and it's already passes us 12:30, so we'll just stop here. And thank you very much for agreeing give us this talk.